To be clear from the outset, what happened on Friday's Masterchef was not a piece of dodgy editing. It was a demonstration of how reality television manufactures its own reality and then conceals the more troubling truths behind a glossy edit. The BBC broadcast what looked like an ordinary episode of its flagship cookery contest, but what did not make it onto the screen is far more telling than what did. The contestant Michael, who was later eliminated, sustained a serious burn to his hand during the invention test. Rather than receiving immediate medical care, he was left to struggle on until the pain forced him to stop. The celebrated mashed potato we saw praised by Turode and Wallace was not even his work. It was prepared by a studio chef while filming paused for half an hour. A contestant's injury was effectively hidden from the public and the narrative patched together to give us the illusion of business as usual. And this raises profound questions. First, about health and safety. A cookery show is by definition a high-risk environment. Knives, boiling liquids, hot pans, and yet there was no obvious medical practitioner on the set. Contestants were left to deal with the injury themselves, dressing it later back at the hotel. That is unacceptable. Any university laboratory, any industrial kitchen would be in breach of basic workplace regulations if it behaved in this way. Secondly, the editorial honesty is just out of the window. Viewers are being told and are being sold a story that is, in fact, a carefully managed fiction. The producer's priority was clearly not the welfare of participants, but the continuity of their format. It's a reminder that what we are watching is not a documentary, but drama without the honesty to call itself such. Third, the wider culture point. Masterchef has long traded on its image as a comforting hug of a show, but its cutlery is now tarnished. Allegations of misconduct have already forced out both Turode and Wallace. After dozens of complaints were finally upheld, and that scandal revealed how easily broadcasters put loyalty to a brand above duty of care to individuals. The Michael incident shows the same reflex operating at the production level: narrative above truth, entertainment above ethics. We already know the deceit of the BBC on this programme is astronomical. They said there was one person who had said that she didn't want to be part of the show, and that she'd. What they didn't say was that she'd actually said that the show should be re-edited using all the cuts that it's got without Wallace and Turode. But in fact, the agreement they made with Sarah was that they would edit her out. Well, they came true about that, and she was on the One Show or something, or she was on Newsnight or. One of those programs anyway, and I met her, and she seems to me to be straight down the centre, very clear, but she's not the only one. It was then quite clear there was another, and the BBC finally admitted that, but didn't give the name, and now there's this business about Michael getting burnt, and again the BBC hides that fact. This is all about stealth, it's all about deceit, and Ofcom's got its ridiculous reality TV code, which presumably it's implementing. It means nothing. It means nothing. Lisa Nandy needs to get off her backside and actually intervene, because this is a demonstration of why reality TV is out of control. It's cheap television, and the BBC will do anything to keep it in the can, to keep it airing. Because it's in the can and because it's already there, and they don't want to waste any more effort on it. It's not attracting huge numbers in terms of audience. It's just fizzling out, and it needs to fizzle out of existence. Masterchef has long traded on its image as a cultural hug of a show, and we need to acknowledge the broader crisis of reality television. Whether it's Love Island, The X Factor, or now Masterchef, the pattern is familiar. Contestants, participants, are treated as disposable human stories bent to fit a contrived plotline, and serious risks to health and dignity are brushed aside for ratings and convenience. Ofcom's rules on duty of care are clearly inadequate if such situations are allowed to happen, and the lesson is simple. If broadcasters want the public to trust these formats, they must demonstrate transparency. Injuries must be shown and explained, not concealed. Contestants must have guaranteed access to independent medical care. And audiences must be told the truth about what is real and what is staged. Otherwise, we're not watching reality television at all, but a cynical charade. So yes, Friday's Masterchef episode was a reminder of why these shows are increasingly crap TV, to borrow the blunt phrase. The real drama, a contestant injured, production scrambling, safety abandoned, fake cooking was cut from sight. That is not only insulting to the viewer, it's dangerous to those taking part. Perhaps the time has come to reassess our relationship with reality TV altogether. If the industry cannot do that, but participant welfare is put above contrived entertainment, then regulators and audiences should demand better, and Lisa Nandy needs to get out of her confinement and come to the podium and explain what she's going to do. I suggest she reconvenes the committee meeting into Love Island and the Jeremy Kyle show, and hears from the participants on these shows what their concerns really are.